Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us again on Food for Thought. This is a ministry out of Christ Episcopal Church, and my name is Sunil Chandy, and we want to thank you for being here. And today we have a wonderful guest, and we're going to jump right into our conversation with her. And I think it's a timely conversation because what we'll be talking about is how to handle this stressful time of this holiday season and how we get through it in a way that's joyful and hopeful. And we are going to have this conversation with Amy Gallagher, who many of us at Christ Church have known for, I've known for the last 7 years, but of course she has been born and brought up here at Christ Church, baptized at the baptismal font in our church, in church sanctuary, and she was baptized by none other than Bishop Joslin or Father Joslin at the time. And so Amy is a licensed clinical social worker trained in dual diagnosis and specialized in EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy trauma. I'm going to ask her about that. And then she also helps with co-occurring disorders, substance abuse and mental health issues. And so she's going to help. She's going to talk a little bit about this holiday season, and of course she's married and she has two beautiful kids, Kaylee, who is 20, and Gianna, who's 3.5, and they live in Bethany, Connecticut. So and Dennis is her husband. So Amy, please come. Ben, please bring Amy on board. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm well, thank you. How are you, Father Sunil?
I am doing okay, but I think I just butchered the baby's name. How do
Juliana Grace.
You know what? You know what I was thinking? Juliana is the way I've seen it is spelled with G-U, and this is an interesting way of spelling it.
That is the Italian way.
Is it really? So Giulianna, Juliana. All right, good. Yes. Well, Amy, how are you?
I'm doing wonderfully, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little anxious. It's a stressful time of the year for me, and not only for me, but for everyone around. Around all of us, right?
Yes.
And especially as we move into this holiday time, and as we engage in the holiday traditions and family and all sorts of stuff that brings. So how do you deal with this season?
Well, so I think the important part is to remember the reason that we celebrate the season. When we reflect on our own faith and, what Christmas is really about, I think it's important to be able to remember that. So often people are so concerned with gifts and volume that we forget that the Christmas season is truly about celebrating the birth of Christ. And so taking time to be mindful, taking time to participate in self-care, and also taking time to really make sure that we potentially are setting some really good boundaries, not only for ourselves, but for others. So let's bring it down to the basics. People have expectations. We have to be at this family's house. We have to be at this family's house. We have to make sure that we are running around. We get everything done. It's stressful. And so the expectations that sometimes are placed upon us by others can be difficult. And so I find that a lot of people at this time of year, although the purpose is to be grateful and to remember to practice gratitude, they get really, really overwhelmed. It's okay to say no. It's okay to set limits and boundaries. We cannot please everybody, but we can make sure that we focus on ourselves and our immediate family and what they need. And I think that's so very important.
Yeah. It's interesting today. Well, first I want to just touch base on that expectations, because sometimes people they don't know what their expectations are. They have like this idealized image of what Christmas should be like. I mean, and with with a beautifully decorated table, a lovely Christmas tree, and then everybody joyful, happy, singing carols around me, and that's sometimes a commercialized ideal of
Sure.
what Christmas is.
Sure.
And
Well, if you think about it, people have gone through, well, at least in the last couple of years, it's been a very anxiety provoking time.
yeah,
But a lot of times for individuals during holidays, it's lonely. It's sad. As I was watching the Food for Thought clip that came up, the last face that I saw is our beautiful friend Meg Frost.
yeah,
So I would imagine for her family and for the people that she wrapped her arms around, she will be missed, as will other family members and friends. Christ Church has lost so many parishioners this year, beautiful people who, were such an integral part of certainly my upbringing and life, that sometimes the holidays can be very difficult because that brings up grief and loss and memories. So I think being mindful of that when you're talking about how joyful these occasions are, some people are really in a place where it's very sad and lonely. So we do need to make sure that we acknowledge that, do our best to spread the word, and try to maintain a level of positivity while being realistic and letting people know that we get it. We understand that sometimes it's not as easy or as romanticized that it potentially is made out to be.
yeah. Uh, it's interesting that you say this. This morning, I gave communion to one of our parishioners, devoted parishioners. I love this lady greatly. She lost her husband recently, and she struggles with this holiday season, just like many of us uh, who have lost loved ones do.
Mhm.
And she and she pointedly asked me, when is it going to get better? Is the pain ever going to go away? And then all I said was, and I was thinking about my own grief in terms of my own. I mean, my father's passing a while ago, maybe over 30 years ago, but that pain still lives in as part of me. And I just said, the pain doesn't necessarily go away,
Mhm.
but how we handle it does. That improves.
Yeah. I like to tell people it is not about having the pain go away. It's about being able to walk with it a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Walk alongside of it, acknowledge it, because it comes at times that we least expect it, especially during the holidays. We all have traditions that we have followed, and our loved ones were part of those traditions. So it's very easy to be triggered by some of those traditions. So it's just important for people to know that grief is a process and it's their own process, and there is no set limitation on time, because those people will always be a part of your lives, your heart, your memories. And so, yes, you can walk with it a little bit easier, but I'm not sure it ever truly goes away.
yeah, yeah. No, and so managing the expectations around this holiday season, knowing that there is pain in the world, there is suffering, and we might be engaged in that same pain and suffering, but
Sure.
knowing how we could still walk with it and find moments of joy.
Yes.
You know, it, I think there's an interesting idea about joy in the Bible, and it's a joy that's different from happiness.
Mhm.
Happiness, in my estimation, is something that's based on external forces. It's
Yes.
like, okay, the sun is shining today, and I could walk outside and I could be joyful, but
Mhm.
or I could be happy, right? I could be
Mhm.
happy,
Sure.
but tomorrow, if it's raining and it's cold and it might be that in New England, right?
Certainly.
It doesn't mean that I can't be, and so I may not be happy. But
Mhm.
joy is something that's internal, I think.
Yes. Yes. And that's part of being mindful, right? So often we spend so much time thinking about what we need to do, how we need to do it. We're so many steps ahead of ourselves that just to be able to be present in the moment, in your own body, really appreciating and having gratitude for what's happening in that very moment, that's where you find joy. And of course, you can connect that with happiness, but that inner peace, that ability to just be present is so important. And I do think during the holidays, it's very easy to kind of step out of that realm and feel so overwhelmed. So different little hints. Obviously, Christmas, it can be emotionally taxing, financially taxing. So I think one of the most amazing things that people can do in this season is to help others. Volunteer your time, because that's where joy comes from. Not receiving, but giving, and giving of yourself in a way that has absolutely nothing to do with the pocketbook, but everything to do with the heart and showing people compassion and empathy.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that. Amy, that's why I miss you here.
I miss you too. Christmas Eve. I will be there. I promise.
Good, good. But you know what? And I was just thinking about that in being present in that moment of giving, right?
Mhm.
And using that moment to say, I am just so grateful that I have the opportunity to give, to connect with somebody.
Yes.
You know, it, and moving away from this idea of it's a thing I could just check off, a
Yes.
thing to do, but rather to really engage and be present to it. I mean, this morning I was working out with our the personal trainer that Simi and I have.
Mhm.
And he said something really interesting to me. He goes like this, sometimes the one thing I love is one phrase I love is journey. It's the journey, not the destination is the journey.
Yes.
The destination is the journey. The
Yes.
fact that we don't have to enjoy the process. In other words, enjoy the process of getting in shape, enjoy the workout, enjoy the relationships, enjoy the moment that you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, make new traditions. That's the other piece. I think, we all grow up in a family of traditions, and those traditions are beautiful and wonderful, but a lot of people think they are finite and necessary. Sometimes even being able to step out of your own comfort level or comfort zone, create more new traditions, bring other people in. It can be a beautiful experience. And sometimes people who truly need that are sitting right in front of you.
Well, I just love this conversation and I am enjoying this, Amy. But I also know that you have a busy schedule and you have an appointment coming up as you have your therapy work that you're doing. And so I just want to tell you I enjoyed your presence. I'm looking forward to touching base with you and the whole family, seeing
I'd
them
be mine.
again. And God bless you and all that you do, Amy.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yes, so do I. I'm grateful to God for you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
See you soon.
Okay. Amy Gallagher, one of the wonderful people that was raised here at Christ Church, and and offers and has some great wisdom to offer the world. And so, as is our tradition at this time, let's end our time together with prayer. This is a prayer that was crafted by Bishop Thomas Brown of Maine, and we'll read this and we'll pray this, and then we'll go into the Lord's Prayer. Jesus Christ, you traveled through towns and villages, curing every disease and illness. At your command, the sick were made well. Come to our aid now in the midst of the global spread of the coronavirus. Heal those who are sick with the virus. May they regain their strength and health through quality medical care. Heal us from our fear, which prevents nations from working together and neighbors from helping one another. Be present with those in authority who are making hard decisions. Support the medical professionals, emergency responders, counselors, and caregivers. We ask this all in your name, Jesus. Amen. Join with me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Friends, go in peace to love and serve God. And as Amy Gallagher reminds us, relish the moment. Relish and be in the moment as you engage in the activities of this holiday season. Relish this moment, engage in that peace, let the light of Christ come to you, and spread that light to the world around you. The world needs it right now.
Thanks for watching. Did you know that you can join Christ Church from anywhere in the world? If you're feeling connected to what we're doing, email us today at communicate@christchurchwesterly.org.